We're going through the ABCs of environmental law. And today, A stands for ability to pay, or ATP. This just is a concept that allows the government to have some flexibility as to what a person or business can realistically afford while the agency considers whether to issue orders, monetary penalties, or settlement terms. We usually think about ATP when we're thinking about a federal Superfund site, and EPA does make these considerations, but this can also apply to state, regional, and local agencies. Really, what somebody is doing is arguing that they have an inability to pay for whatever an agency is arguing needs to be done, or what kind of penalties should be imposed for non-compliance. It's important to remember, though, this is not guaranteed, and it's the exception, not the rule. It's not a get-out-of-jail-free card. At the end of the day, the whole reason why people need to make this argument is because there's contamination someplace. That still exists, and it's still the government's job to figure out how to address it. What ability to pay can mean is that the agency has flexibility and can use discretion to ask what makes sense in a given situation for a specific person or business. And that could mean lower penalties, it could lead to payment plans, it could avoid major cleanup costs. But it doesn't work for everyone. There are laws that set minimum penalties. Some agencies have very little flexibility, and some situations just don't support it. For example, the government is generally not going to give you leeway if you are the entity or the person who created a problem, and now you're just trying to avoid the responsibility for it. The other thing to remember is that the government isn't just going to take your word for it. We do have clients who come to us and who really don't want the government to be in their business, but they still want to take advantage of this argument. The government wants the receipts. They are going to want to know about your assets, your income stream, your debts. And for some of our clients, this is not a big deal. And they can easily show that they honestly don't have the kind of money it would take to comply with the government's demands. And they didn't cause the contamination, so it would be unfair to drive them into bankruptcy or drive them out of business. For other people, it may just be inconvenient, and they might just want to avoid higher costs, but that's a factor as well. It's not something to wing. It's going to differ from person to person, business to business, and if the financial story doesn't line up, it actually could hurt someone's credibility and make the situation worse because it'll make it look like you're just trying to avoid responsibility. The takeaway is this: ability to pay can be a part of the conversation, and it has worked wonders for some of our clients, but only with the right facts, with the right agency, and being done in the right way.